Well, from that, let's move into the speculation of what. Okay, well, we know that challenges are coming, right? We know that we had the Adesanya challenge, which is a spin challenge, and we had the Volkanovski challenge, which I can't even remember which one that was. That was a moment owning challenge as well, right?
You had to have 25 Series 1 contender
That
moments
was it. Yeah.
or 3 challengers or I think 1
Or
champion from Series
yeah,
1.
any champion, yeah, from
Any
series one.
champion
Yep.
period,
Yep.
yeah, something like that. So,
And then, so that was an interesting one. That was kind of like a spin challenge as well. I mean,
yeah.
it was very similar to just like a spin challenge.
Well, it was
Then,
a collect challenge. It was a more of a
right,
traditional dapper product type of challenge that we're used to.
right, but with
Yeah.
high, like having all 25 was kind of like that's a lot, not
Yeah,
like having four, having three. So then this
correct.
next challenge came out, and here's the thing that a lot of people are upset about is that should it be performance of the night or should it be fight of the night? Because the rule is stated that it's going to be the fight of the night is going to get the fandom moment, right? And I love
Yeah.
that because it's highlighting what they think the best fight of the night is. But a
Yeah.
lot of discussion is being had that is a moment really representative of a fight, or should it be the performance of the night, which is usually one moment, one knockout, one submission, one something, which obviously Chandler got the performance of the night
Yeah.
with that front, which was like people are already saying top five knockouts of all time. And
That
then
thing's disgusting. I cannot
it's
believe that was
it's
real.
wild. He made him 90 years old in this blink of an
I
eye.
I
And
thought he
then,
killed him for a second. I was like, "Oh my
dude,
is this
I
man
was too. It almost made
dead?"
me sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but instead, we're getting the Schnell and Royval moment, right? And I'm not saying that
Correct.
that's a bad thing. However, a lot of people started selling their moments before the challenge was even over. Once the announcement was officially made that it was going to be the Royval moment,
Yeah,
and
so for that level 2, you needed a Cerrone, a Rose, and I think 2 lightweight challengers, and Rose and Cerrone
4.
were 4, okay, thank you. And Rose and Cerrone were at, like, 120, 130 a pop, and they dropped down, I think, all the way to 80
Yes,
when
and
that was announced.
well, there was double bad because Rose lost her belt, and it
Yeah.
was going to go down as one of the worst fights ever.
Yeah.
And then Cerrone didn't even get to fight because he got
It
food
was
poisoning.
canceled. Yeah.
So double bad on that. So that you didn't even get to see like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't even like, oh wow, what a performance. I'm gonna keep this moment anyways. Instead, people were like, F that fight. And also, I didn't even see Cowboy. I mean, he hasn't won a fight in forever,
Yeah.
whatever. So I think that that was so people were like, I'm not keeping these moments because I already know they're going to crash and I don't care about the Royal. And that's why only 1,000 people, just over 1,000 people completed it. And a lot
Yeah.
more people would have, and they
It's
just sold out.
it's always interesting how this happens and like for Top Shot when they did the throwdowns drop, the the bottleneck of the set is Russell Westbrook, and it's because no one wanted the Russell Westbrook, so he ended up being minted the least, and now it's going to be the same with this, where this new moment is going to be the lowest minted out of the 3 fandom moments we've gotten so far because so many people are like, yeah, no, I don't want that.
Right.
Yeah,
So now this leads them to make an announcement in their Discord and maybe on their Twitter as well that the Chandler moment, don't worry, don't fret. If they didn't do this, people would riot, I think, and just be like, whatever, then you're not listening. The
yeah,
Chandler moment will be a challenge moment. So the Chandler
correct.
moment will be coming. It is a
Which
top
is
five
huge.
KO. It's going to be a big moment. My concern is that they're going to make it really, really hard to get. So let's talk about some ideas of how this challenge could be. How could you prepare yourself for what this challenge would be? And there's a couple of ideas that have been floating around. Jeb, what's your original idea for what the challenge could be?
Yeah. So my original idea was like we know you and I have talked about this. They've only done moments from from fights in like actual UFCs. So they haven't done them from fight nights. So we have 2 fight nights coming up. One this Saturday on the 14th and then one on the 21st. And both of those fight nights have tons of fighters that have been
Tons.
tons of fighters from this last drop. Like this last pack drop is just all fighters who are about to fight. On the 14th, there's 8 total moments. 7 of them are contenders, and then the challenger moment is Cute Laba. I hope I'm saying that right. He is the only challenger moment for the 14th. Now, I think there's a decent chance that that's not when they give out the Chandler moment because there's only one challenger involved. And this last challenge, you needed like 6 challenger moments, right? So they're not going to go from 6 for this very hard, this like from this last challenge to like one challenger moment, or even like if they're like, oh, you need to include like a lightweight or whatever, like a couple, like they're not going to go down. So I don't think it's coming this Saturday. I think they will do a challenge because there are 8 fighters that have moments, and it would seem like a complete waste. But they're probably just going to do packs or whatever. But on the 21st, you have Holly Holm, you have Michelle Pereira. I hope I'm saying that right. And then you have Pawns. All 3 of them have challenger moments, and all 3 of them are fighting on the 21st, which seems like a good opportunity for them to do the Chandler challenge. So say, hey, here's a like level 1 challenge, and then the level 2, you need these 3 rares that are fighting, and then you need like 2 others or 3 others for like weight class, or maybe it's like you need, because the Chandler moment was such a big KO, you need 3 KO moments, 3 rare KO moments on top of the 3 that are fighting, or something like that. I think that's where I kind of would bet it's happening is on the 21st. And then I think the other thing they could do is obviously they'd probably want you to include having a Chandler, but maybe what they do, and this is me being ambitious, I don't think this actually happens, but maybe they're like, hey, you have to have 5 Chandlers along with these rares. And then when you do the challenge, 4 of your Chandlers or all 5 of them get burnt. And you get like a better Chandler moment, which would be cool because Chandler is
Well,
a
that would be
series.
sick.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that's me being like, "Oh, this would be super, super cool if they like limited Chandler supply because he has 24,000 mint as opposed to Series One, which is 12,000 for the contender." Like if they did the math and they're like, "Okay, so you need 3 Chandler moments. We're gonna burn 2 of them, and you get to keep one, and then you get the fandom Chandler, and then that suddenly reduces the Chandler moments significantly." It would be cool if they do that. I don't think they will. I think you'll need a Chandler moment, but unless they like require you to have like 10 of them, like it's not going to be the bottleneck. So it's not going to like having a Chandler moment is not going to be that expensive. Like when he was
Right.
announced for level 1 for this last drop, he was at $10 and he dropped all the way down to 5 because he wasn't the bottleneck. And people are like, oh, well, the 12,000 moments, like the Charles and the Joe, those are going to be the bottlenecks. Those are going to be the expensive ones. So this
Right.
Gaethje and this Chandler, like I don't need to stack them. I don't need to try and grab one right away. If I have any extras, I should undercut because like they're not going to be the bottlenecks. So I think it'll be the 21st, or they just do a separate challenge that's not attached to any fight. But
Here's our other speculation. Here's my speculation. Something I've been talking about with the Discord people. Shout them out. Um, Kicks, KOs.
ooh,
Actually, so if you actually type in kick in the search bar, you'll get all
right.
the kick moments, kick KO moments. And so you've got the Donald Cerrone, which would be something that they might be like, okay, hold on to that Donald Cerrone. You got the Holly
Ooh,
Holm. They might be rewarding you for things. You got the Buckley moment, the Rafael Fiziev. There's a bunch of kick,
Ignacio.
like yeah, the Ignacio one. Those are all the rares, and then there's a Alexander Rakic, which is also fighting soon. Yep, Jan is fighting. So there really could be a KO like challenge, and I think that
Ooh,
would be on brand and makes sense. And
I
then
like that.
you're not worried so much about exactly who's fighting, but you can kind of blend in the mix because they just happen to be a lot of fighters coming up that have kick KOs on the platform. So the way I'm hedging my bets is I'm trying to buy a couple of the extra rares that are doing like I want that Buckley moment anyways. It's kind of a classic knockout.
Yeah, that's
I
a
don't know if I
top
want to
tier.
buy the Ignacio moment, but
Might have to.
I have the Cerrone, I have the Holmes. I don't wanna buy the Rafael Fiziev right now because I still don't understand it's a $130 price tag. It doesn't make any
Makes no
sense to
sense.
me. But the rest of the moments I have, except for those rares, a couple of the rares, or challengers. I think that's a possibility, man. I think that
Yeah.
I think it's
I
definitely a possibility.
I think that's a really, really, really good speculation because like you said, one, Holmes about to fight. Two, it rewards someone who held on to their Cerrone instead of sold it off, like post challenge,
Yep.
which is it seems what they're really trying to do. Like with that airdrop, it was basically saying, hey, like we're rewarding people who didn't fire sell. If you held the Volk and the Adesanya, you know what? We're giving you a pack because you held on to these moments that were rewards because you probably didn't buy them. Maybe you did, but um yeah. Huh. I actually really, really like that. I like that so much I legitimately might buy a Cerrone right now.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, at the price Cerrone is right now, and then there's other thoughts that are just like it's going to be the exact same thing, and it's just going to be like, oh, we took a snapshot. If you held on to the reward thing, we're just going to go ahead and give you this. The thing I like about the kick thing though is there's two champion tier moments that also are like kick KOs that I feel
yeah.
like could be like the cheat code. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they have options there, and
The
but
balance is good. The balance
I'm
between contenders, challengers, and champions,
yeah.
like they could reward multiple levels decently easily.
And when is the next Ignacio fight? I actually don't know, but I don't think it's that.
I just bought a Cerrone.
You did? I
Yeah.
don't think it's a bad buy. Okay, here's why I like the Cerrone buy anyways. He's kind of a classic figure in
Yeah.
he's also transitioning into film. People really like Cowboy. He's been around for a long time. He doesn't have the great he's somewhat like a Nate Diaz. He's not on the level of Nate Diaz,
He's
on
a
the level of Conor
journeyman.
McGregor, but he is a journeyman, but he's a very
Yeah.
popular one. He's one that
Yeah.
people when you go, do you know Cowboy Cerrone? Even people who aren't that in the know in the sport, no.
Well,
Cowboys run.
when he fought Connor, like the way like how I learned the most about him is like listening to Joe Rogan talk about him and interview him and stuff as the fight was about to happen. Like everyone had a lot of respect for him. Like
Oh,
they're like,
everybody
yeah,
yeah, I think
Cerrone's
everybody loves Cerrone.
and like you said, he's a fan favorite. So and this is a
It's also
moment
his debut moment.
correct. And on top of that, this moment's just been in a challenge. So if it's not used in this upcoming challenge, it's not gonna tank. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's at the rare floor is about 50. I just bought it at 53. Like it's not going to fall off a cliff if I'm wrong.
Here's the other thing that's kind of cool about it is that, yeah, Ignacio doesn't have a fight coming up that I can find. So that one kind of worries me to buy at $80. But here's the
Yeah.
other thing I like about it. One, it's Cowboy. It's just like Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is about to fight his last fight, which could be Michael Chandler, by the way. So there's also speculation that Nate Diaz could be a part of
Oh
the
boy.
challenge, which if so, I do think Nate Diaz is primed to skyrocket. I am
Oh
not going to
yeah.
buy two of them. I have the one. I have both of the Diaz's. You know, I have them behind me at all times. He's like the angel and devil over my shoulder in every single show I do.
Yeah.
Um, I don't
All
even
right.
remember where we were at.
Challenges. Challenge speculation. We
Did we
talked about
cover it?
yeah, so we talked about the possible upcoming fights and then you talked about the kicks, which I thought was a really really good idea.
Mhm.
Because we have five, seven contender moments, five challenger moments, and two champion moments. So that's a pretty good like spread of kick KOs, which could be used for that Chandler challenge, which I think is a really really solid strategy. So much so I bought the Cerrone. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
I'm like super concerned that it's going to require at least one champion moment. Even though I
Yeah.
have one, I don't have one that's a kick. I don't have one that's really relevant. I have,
Well, the two
I
kick
have
ones are
the
crazy expensive.
and are like two of the most expensive ones there are.
Two of the
So
most like
I
iconic moments in UFC history too. So
yes, and thank goodness that okay, so the Rose one, I honestly believe that that one's never going to go that much lower. Even if Rose never reclaims the title, everyone is knows she's the best in the division. I really
yeah.
think everybody still believes that. She just has a mental block when it comes to Carla.
Yeah.
And I think that they implemented their strategy and it was just bad game planning. They didn't expect that They didn't expect the judges to go that way. I think she really believes she won at the end of that, which
Yeah,
is wild. It's why I mean, the whole thing was wild. It
it
was one of
really
the
was.
worst fights ever, and it sucks because I'm a huge fan. But I don't think that moment's ever going to go that low because it's an iconic moment, and it is the debut Joe Rogan moment.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
know that
and
sounds stupid, but dude, you know how many Joe Rogan stands there are out there. There's people who like MMA just because of him. This is the debut one, and it's one of
I
the
I
iconic Joe Rogan interviews.
I definitely got into MMA more because of Joe Rogan. I'm not even
Yeah,
gonna lie. Like I started
yeah,
listening to like his interviews with fighters, and I was like, oh, these guys are actually really like cool beyond the fact that they just like beat people up.
right.
Um, but yeah, okay. So that's interesting that you think a champion moment might be required because those two champion moments are two of the most iconic moments in UFC history.
Mhm.
And this Chandler moment is
Is
probably going to go down as a
yes,
pretty iconic moment
I
too.
know.
So it's
I
like,
know.
holy
I'm really
cow.
worried. I'm really worried. But if it requires a $2,000 plus moment to
Yeah, I
get
just
it,
don't I
it's
don't
going to
s-
be way too limited. It's
so
going
I
to be
don't
limited to 100.
yeah, no
No, it
under
can't even be
100.
100.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
It'd be
has to be
limited
less than 100.
maybe less than 100. Yeah. No, and so I don't I think that's like solid speculation, but I don't think it happens because that Chandler moment easily could have been the challenge reward for this last challenge. So I think they're
You
going to keep it around the same difficulty.
Man, I don't know. Okay, so what if one of those knockout moments though? Okay, so here's one thing that's going against that theory is that Rose has already been used in a when you just if you have the
Oh,
rose, it's
champion
the
moment.
cheat moment. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was in that Volkanovski one, right? Or like
I
if you
believe
had the rose,
so.
or was this in this last one?
It
Might have been
was
this last
used.
one too.
It was used for sure. It definitely was
Yeah,
used.
if you had a rose, I know at one point rose was one of the champion tier moments that just got you the prize.
Yeah.
Um, so maybe they don't do that again. The Anderson moment is huge, but who knows? They could just use those two moments as like if you have one of these, you instantly get the Chandler. But there's also another way to do it by buying all these four rares and
I think there will be
having.
some sort of cheat code for sure.
And I like the cheat codes. I think it's cool to reward people who are like, I don't want to buy all these contender moments. I just want to have the gold.
Yeah,
Like
well, and
that's cool.
it's just I once again I think it's really cool that they reward if you have the cheat code, you get both rewards. Because in with Top Shot, if you had the cheat code, you only got the reward that was minted. You didn't get like even so like if the challenge for the moment was like hard and the easy challenge, you just got a base set pack, and then there's a
Right.
cheat code, you still only got the moment. You didn't automatically get the
Yeah,
pack
they
as
expect
well.
you to do the other thing. Yeah. No, I
Correct.
like that. I like that. I think you should. If you have the cheat code, just get it all. Get
Yeah,
whatever. And I
I
like the
agree.
idea that I do like the idea that there is an easy, a medium, and a cheat code. And like the
I think
medium
it's
is
perfect.
I think it's great how they're doing it. I like the 3 moments is that's a lot of number of moments. So, like, pretty soon, we're about to get 3 moments, which I don't know if they're gonna come in packs or just randomly dropped in our thing. Who knows what they
Yeah.
are? And we're getting, this other moment, which who knows how much this is gonna be. I think it will be the cheapest one, even though it's gonna be the lowest mint count.
Yeah, I think
What do
it
you think it
will
could be? $30?
I think it could be really low. I don't think
I think it
anyone
could
wants
be
this
low.
one.
No, I
But
think people
like
are just pissed.
but like I said, I mean, people like when something's a bottleneck, it ends up being worth a lot. And this would be the first like real bottleneck we've seen. So maybe people pile up on it a bit.
Wait a minute. What if this is required to get the Chandler moment? So you did have to do this at some point,
Ooh, that's big
and then
brain.
that way they could go, "Oh, you thought it was okay to sell and not get this moment? Well, guess what? Now you're going to
That's
need it anyways, and there's
that's
only 1,000 of them."
That's galaxy brain because that would cap the Chandler moment and make it automatically rarer than this moment.
Yes,
I think I think you're on to something. I think I think you're
we have
I think
gone
that's
deep in this
I think
challenge thing.
I think that's it. I think that's it. I think that gets required some way somehow. Like maybe they're like, "Oh, you need 2 or 3 kick moments, and then you also need this moment because it came from the fight." So it just ties everything together. And like you said, people who got the this moment and we're disappointed, now we'll be excited because it's like, oh, it helped me get the moment I actually wanted.
I'm not gonna lie. If this comes out and people are fire sailing it, I might pick up a couple just on the
I
off chance that they
mm,
use this for something, even if it's
for
not for the
sure.
Chandler moment. I think that they might because they want people to still have value out of their challenge moments. And this got especially if they're like, oh, this is obviously not worth what people want it to be. We have to use this for something to bring the value up. I might go ahead and pick up a few so I can sell into the storm whenever it happens.
Gosh,
If we
I
saw
think
Guida go from $60 to
for a
250,
series zero pack, for a
yeah,
series zero pack, a worthless pack, like maybe you'll get
yes.
a champion moment, but it's most likely like $9.
I could not believe that, dude.
That didn't
That
make
one
any sense
blew
to
my
me.
mind. That
It
one, I was like, dude, I like packs as much as anybody, but this does not seem worth it at all.
no. No, no, no.
Like, if you got 10 packs, maybe, but one pack,
If you got
like,
5 packs, if you got 5 packs, I would be like,
I don't even know if I would
"Mm."
do it at 250
I wouldn't
bucks,
no,
dude, to be completely honest.
I definitely wouldn't do it, but at least it would make me think for a second.
Yeah,
Like, 1 Series
start
0
to weigh
pack,
it out.
the fact that anyone was buying it over, like, $50, much I thought if you would have told me what the challenge was before, like, they announced it, like, if I knew ahead of time, I would have like, if I knew had insider information, I wouldn't have gone and bought a Guida, because I would have thought it would go down in price.
Yeah, I just can't believe what happened.
It
People
makes
I
no
don't
sense.
like, and for this thing, Rose and like Cerrone and fighters that are like way more. I mean, Guida is a fan favorite, but he's not like a household name. Most people like don't know him that haven't been in UFC for a while.
I had no idea who he was, I'll be honest.
Yeah. So like, and that's okay. That's okay. Like, it's not. He's not like a. He's kind of a. I mean, I don't know. He's weird. He lives with his mom. He's a great. I love him. He's a
He gets
awesome
slapped by
fighter.
his brother, right?
Huh?
He gets slapped by his brother, like, before
Oh, yeah,
fights,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
before fights, and
Yeah.
then burps a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
What a
which I do love.
character.
I like him. He's a classic UFC character,
Yeah.
but it's also, like, one of those things that, like, how did that get up to 250 bucks? I just don't
Yeah.
get it.
Makes no
That's so
sense.
wild, but
So wild. So, yeah, I do think if there was ever a, like, challenge that goes just, like, crazy, it's gotta be this one, because who doesn't want this moment? Like, I was saying when the Adesanya challenge got announced, I was immediately like, "Yes, I'm doing this. Adesanya is my favorite fighter on and off the in and out of the octagon. I love him for so many reasons. Of course, I'm doing this, and I was like, yeah, this might be like one of the best moments on the site. Period. Like until they release a different Adesanya moment. And this Chandler moment is one of those moments, like you said, this is an iconic knockout. It's going to make every YouTube highlight reel moving forward for like greatest knockouts ever, like
yep,
all that stuff. Like this is a moment that people are going to want. And so if someone drove up Guida to 250 for this, like what in the world like is the ceiling for the moments for this challenge?
yeah, I agree. I it just seems hard to yeah. This challenge that's why I'm worried. I'm worried I won't be able to get it and it'll be out of my price range somehow. So I hope they and I collect a lot. Like I have a lot of moments, but
Yeah.
I am trying to position myself in a way in which I'm able to get it. And so I'm trying to think of every angle, but because you're right,
Yeah.
I do think this one's going to be worth a lot regardless, unless they make it too easy and there's 3,500 of them plus. Even if there are 3,500 of them plus, because this happened during the time of UFC Strike and people who are collecting, maybe even new fans, I think this is just going to be a sought after moment for a long time.
I think so too. I mean, if there's 3,500 of it, it won't be as valuable as the Adesanya, but I still think it would be more valuable than the Volk. Just like you said, people want it.
Dude, and wait till Volk gets that second belt. Wait till he
Yeah,
goes up and fights Charles Oliveira.
yeah.
Possible.
I'm tempted to buy a second Volk at some point for sure, for sure, for sure.
If he goes below 50, it's hard not to buy some more Volks.
He's
Dude's
at 50
amazing.
right now.
Yeah, if he goes, if I start seeing 40s, it's hard for me not to pick him up. I have two Adesanyas, and
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't like made out with them. You know, I haven't made a ton of money off of them because I kind of one I got just because I made the thing. The other one I bought and I probably lost money on, but I'm okay with having two because I honestly think that it's a moment that people. I mean, it's just a great moment. You know, it's a
Yeah.
big moment.
I spent all my dapper on upcoming fight like challengers because I want that Chandler moment and I want to be able to sell out and or if it's not the Chandler moment, I want to sell the moments and use that to get a McGregor because I really want a McGregor debut before there's a chance that he eventually just like skyrockets and I never have a chance at it again.
Which you will.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm the same way. I was going to buy one and when they were like hitting that 400 mark. I was like, this is perfect. I'll buy a 400. And then
Yeah.
I waited instead of buy. It was like it was the night of the UFC, and I was like shopping while I was watching the UFC, and I
Yeah.
didn't buy one. And then the next day they got back up to 500 and I was like, I'm just below balance. So I got my Nate, I got my Nick, I got all that stuff and I'm sitting on about 250 bucks looking to deposit another 200 and try to find a McGregor. I really want it's just you have to have it. And once you get that, I feel like it's a lot easier to finish the challenger set too. Once you get the
Yeah.
McGregor, I feel like you're a lot more likely to be like, okay, I'll start picking a $50 moment up here, a $50 moment up there, and when if you
Yeah.
have the entire thing, if you keep collecting the challenger sets, I do feel like you're putting yourself in a great position to get every single fandom moment to make money off of it by just being a devout collector.